Mr. Apaturaј, the current expectation are Spain to ratify the accession protocol for North Macedonia until March, and with that the country will become full-fledged member. However, integration in the army part will last for a few more years. When can the full integration of the country in the NATO structure be expected?
From our perspective, we are, first of all, making great progress, but second, once we pass the threshold that accession protocols have been signed and deposited in Washington, so as you say, March or April, hopefully March, the country is a full member of NATO. Of course, there has to be further steps. On the diplomatic side, everybody needs to have a security clearance, so we have to continue with that process. On the military side, we need full integration into the structures. That will take a little time as well. But these are important but technical issues. The reality is, from the moment that North Macedonia is a member, it is a full member in all ways.
The security and defense sector are in the focus of NATO for the reforms that need to be implemented for that purpose. In which phase are the reforms now?
What we already see is that North Macedonia has started on the path of reforms and fundamental reforms. We're really grateful for that, and we're working very closely with the country. We have an office there that's working on that with the authorities. The country has submitted a program of reform, and that's a program of reform that began already, that is continuing through the accession process, but that will continue for years afterwards. And what's very important is that it continues in areas such as reform of the intelligence sector, reform of the defense sector. So we will expect that these reforms continue. They are good for the country, they're good for us, because the country can contribute more as a NATO ally. So it's already started and it's going to continue for years.
Full implementation of the Prespा agreements in what NATO expects from North Macedonia. If this does not happen, or is there reversibility in that implementation, what will be the consequences for the country within the NATO?
Once North Macedonia joins NATO, it's a member of NATO. I think that's got to be very clear. So that train has left the station. That being said, I think there are two real implications if there were any backsliding. One is very substantial political implications within this organization, because of course accession was based on the very important resolution of the name agreement. But I would say there's also a political cost. Now I speak for myself because I don't speak for the European Union, but this is an essential element of North Macedonia's progress towards the European Union. And I think no one should underestimate the negative consequences if there would be a walking back from the name agreement. So I think the path that North Macedonia is on now, with Prespा, with the name agreement, is showing all the results that we expected. Membership in NATO, and I hope and expect progress towards EU membership as well.
Mr. Apaturaј, thank you for the interview.
Thanks so much.